We good? We good? Cool.
Hello.
This is Tony. If you don't know, Addison Groove, the headhunter, the boot camp.
I'm headhunter, ex-headhunter, I suppose. But people say, "Are you still a headhunter?" And I'm like, yeah, sometimes. But I prefer what I do now. That's all.
How often do you get booked as headhunter these days?
Never.
Yeah.
I ask for a ridiculous amount of money. No, I'm joking. No, I prefer playing the stuff I play now, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Which is what? I mean, for those of you who don't keep up and
it's like
I mean,
it's like a spin-off of dubstep, right? But it's not dubstep, is it? It's more house and techno, and it's in between house, techno, and garage, I suppose, and then also ghetto tech, which is like not far off drum and bass. Yeah, in a way, but it all comes from dubstep. I feel like everything I play comes from dubstep because it has that bass element and that. Some of it has a sense of space and experimentalism as well. When I was into dubstep, it was experimental music, really. It was like alien. People were like, "What are you doing playing this stupid music in 2006?" And I'm like, "Well, I think it's good." Right. So, and that's the greatest thing about that era was it was experimental. People were doing things that you wouldn't usually think about doing with that tempo. And, when I came into dubstep, I was actually into psytrance.
wow.
In a weird, and that psytrance was 140 BPM. I was like, wow, let me try and get some of these weird psytrance. But I was into drum and bass too, and I was into techno and house and all this kind of music. But I was like, wow, this tempo is great. It's not the same as house, it's not the same as techno, but it's not the same as drum and bass. It's like you can probably get everything in there and stick it together. What I came up with was almost like Ed Rush and Optical making dubstep, I suppose. That's what I wanted. I wanted to have that kind of not nasty, but kind of psychedelic and twisted noises, and keep it deep as well.
Right.
So I can go and play at like Forward. I was like a resident Forward, and every month I would make music to go down there and play, just for myself and maybe 15 people in the audience. That grew really quickly. Within the space of a couple of months, we started seeing 100 people in the audience, then 200, then the club was so full, it had to move to a Friday. That was like 2007. And that's when you knew dubstep was going to get big.
Right. So. And then it got,
And now it's...
Then it got stuck in a formula. And
now it's like probably the only genre like kids know about it and dance music. Which to me is amazing. In the UK, I noticed a difference compared to the UK to here. Like in the UK, all the commercials have dubstep. All of them. It's crazy.
I did notice that.
Yeah, when you were there, you probably heard that. But I've noticed over here, it's still quite. It's not a lot of the commercials don't quite have dubstep yet.
You'll hear it here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you. Yeah. But it's everywhere in the UK. It's crazy. Proves how much TV I watch. I watch my TV.
Yeah, I did notice it. Yeah, I was just. Those of you who don't know, I hung out with Tony last month. I was in Bristol and London for 2.5 weeks. We got to hang out. So aside from being an amazing producer, he's a very generous host and very good cook and
scary driver.
Crazy driver. Man, nobody knows. I mean, nobody has cars there. I mean, at least nobody that I know, except Tony.
Yeah.
And he's a maniac driver. No, he's a great driver, but I didn't.
I just like to test the speed of my car sometimes.
Yeah. It's got a nice, BMW that holds the curves.
It holds the corner as well.
Yeah.
And look, you got to go to the seaside in the UK.
I did. It was great.
Some fish and chips.
Yeah. Loads of roundabouts,
Yeah, loads of roundabouts.
Man, just like sliding around these roundabouts the whole time. And
watch this.
It's not like, obviously not like Texas or anywhere here where there's, lots of open area. You're on these small country roads, and instead of having, fence and being able to look off in the distance, man, there's huge shrubs that are 10 feet tall on both sides. So you have like a road, and then these barriers on each side, and you can't see anything coming around the corner, and they're really curvy. Man, he would just gun it every time. It was great.
Those roads are great fun to drive on. So.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So you talked about Ed Rush and Optical, that some of your influences.
Mm-hmm.
You lived with one of my favorite drum and bass producers for a while, and I'm sure he helped you a lot along the way.
Yeah, I lived with Tech H back in 2005, which was kind of cool because back in 2005 I wasn't really. Oh, ready?
Welcome.
Welcome to the club. Yeah, in 2005 I lived with Tahich and Jakes as well, which was great. When I moved into the house, I had already experimented with producing, but I wasn't fully into it, and I kind of discovered dubstep around that time. And I thought I could have a go at this. To me, I was like, why should I try and make drum and bass? Everyone's done drum and bass. So what new thing could I do that's interesting for myself? The most important thing for me about making music is doing something that I find interesting to listen to as I'm making it. So living with Tahich was kind of cool because I was seeing him in the studio going, wow, that's a good way of using certain synthesizers or compressors or stuff, and it really helped me kind of get a certain sound that I wanted. It didn't take me that long to make my first release, which came out on a label that we both started, called Ascension, and that was.
What was it doing? Seventh Curse.
And that was at Seventh Curse was the name of the track.
Yeah.
And it was just a dark dubstep track. It didn't take me awfully long to make, but I had an idea in my head, and I made the track and mixed it down, but I did give it to Tahich when I finished with it to do a bit of mastering on it, and he made it nice and beefy, and then we put it out, and it was like, right, cool. We did the second release, and that's when I got a phone call from Tempa. Literally in the space of 5 months, I went from being a non-producer to being asked to sign to a Tempa label.
Nice.
So I was like, what's happening?
What was the first one on Tempa? It was on that EP?
Descent. Yeah, it's Descent.
It was on the EP? What's that on?
No, that was the second thing.
Descent was on Ascension, yeah. Yeah, still second Ascension 2.
No. Ascension 2 was The Arrival.
Okay.
And the Descent was on Tempa.
Okay.
Pretty sure of it.
I'm sure you're right.
I'm pretty sure Descent was the one that Tempa heard, and they were like, we want to sign this one.
Nice.
I think there was 3 tracks on that vinyl. And what the good thing about that was, like, Youngster was really into it. And Youngster is the brother of Sarah, and Sarah runs Tempa. So he was really into my music. So already I've got Youngster behind me going, this guy's good. And Youngster he's quite a funny one. Youngster, he only plays certain producers. There's not many producers that he likes to play. So he was playing, I think, Lofa Mala, D1, Scream, Koki. I think that might have, and Benga. And he was just playing those guys. And then I was the addition. It was like, wow, this guy's added me to his record bag. And then, he's the brother of Sarah, so I was getting like big ups from Youngster to make this kind of style of music. And the more I was making, the more I felt comfortable about making this kind of half-steppy style. And along came an EP after Descent. Then we agreed to do an album. So we did an album, and it was good. My time at Tempo was great. Like I said, in basically 6 months, I went from nothing to being a producer on Tempa, and then getting flown out the country to go and DJ in places like Berlin and Slovakia and Poland. So it happened real fast, and I didn't take it very seriously. I was just like, is this going to really last? I thought it was going to last a year. And then after a while, I realized I could stop selling weed. That's the honest truth. All I did was I sold weed until the point I realized I didn't have to do it anymore, and it was great. Helped me stop smoking it. So I didn't do that shit anymore. Yeah, good.
Backwards.
Yeah. It was good. So and I realized I can actually start, making a living from it. I never made loads of money back then, but I didn't want to. And that's how I feel about it today. I don't care if I make loads of money, as long as I can continue to make music, play music to people. I'm happy.
That's good.
I'm happy with that. So
Nice. And you started touring, came to the States for the first time when, 2007 or 8 to play? I think it was 7.
No, I don't remember.
We had him, we had him.
yeah, this guy's one of the first ones to book me.
Yeah. Was that was 07, yeah?
I don't know.
I can't
I
recall.
think it was 07.
Was it 07, Pete?
I was 7,
I love the way you know more than me.
Yeah.
Probably was 07.
Was it
Yeah.
Parish or Seven
It was at Parish, yeah. It was at Parish show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that big
Such a
night.
big venue. I was like,
Huge
what?
venue. It was a good crowd for it. Like
It was
that,
really
that big
good.
venue.
It was great, actually.
Yeah, it was good. That was good times.
Yeah.
I stayed a week then.
I stayed a while. I think I stayed a while in America at that
Yeah.
time, and played here in San Francisco and maybe New York.
I mean, for traveling as much as he does, man, he has an amazing memory. Like from the time he was here in 2007, 8.
Oh yeah.
This whole week or the last couple of days have been pointing out. Oh yeah, I remember going
I
here and
remember
here.
this
And I'm like,
place.
yeah, I had to jog my memory.
I think I have a long-term memory, not a short one. So I can't remember people's names very well.
You tend to spend a lot of time here when you're here too. I've noticed, like when we had you out, you were here for like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
We took you out when we were in Benjamin and stuff.
I usually, nowadays, I come out about 3 times a year. I came here to America back in May. That was a tour, and we did a gig every day for 3 weeks.
With Dr. Nico?
With Dr. Nico.
Okay.
And that was so, maybe we had like 1 or 2 Mondays off,
Yeah.
but it was so intense, man. Every day it was like waking up, going there and somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that was a full thing, and I think I came here, well, coming.
Were you here during South by this year? Or was that
No,
last year?
last year,
Right,
that was like a 5-day thing where I come in and did 5 gigs. And
Wait, you were here all week, yeah.
yeah, that was cool. Well, I did South by and then went somewhere else, and then came back and played that other venue. What venue was that?
That was Ace's, our Sunday party.
Yeah.
At Ace's.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, 'cause you did the
Barcelona.
Fire night, and then you bounced and came back to that
Came
Sunday.
back, and that's who was playing at 12 Planet.
12 Planet.
We had a huge lineup that
It's the
night.
first time I've ever seen a stage dive.
Yeah.
Like, what's he doing? Oh my god.